Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're interested on how I did this brown yellow makeup look, then please stay tuned and keep on watching. Starting off, I'm going to use my Urban Decay primer. As always, I can't live without this stuff. This is like a need for me when it comes to my makeup, just because it's really easy to use, it's super fast, and who doesn't love doing things quickly? So that's why I love this product. So I'm just putting that on my eyes to give me a good base for my eyeshadow, and I'm blending it out with this brush. So now that it's all blended out and I have a good base, I'm going to take this color right here and I'm basically going to pack that all over my eyelid where I put that as a base, but very lightly because I don't want it to be too pigmented to where it doesn't show the yellow properly. So I'm just adding this to warm up the yellow when I do apply it. So now I'm taking this light yellow in the palette and I'm just going to basically put that on top of the orange and try to pack it. It did tone down the orange a lot, so it basically started me all over, so I wouldn't really recommend this part, at least with this yellow. So I wasn't really satisfied with that yellow, so I went in with this one just to test it out, and this yellow made everything a lot better. So I'm taking it and I'm just basically packing that on and putting that all over my eyelid. Now I'm taking my Essence mascara, of course, my favorite affordable mascara ever. And I've tried a lot of mascaras. This one is just perfect for me, personally. So I'm just going to apply that on my top lashes for both eyes, and I'm leaving my bottom lashes after I apply everything else, then I'll come back to them. Now I'm applying some falsies, which are right here. They're Laura's lashes, but they didn't say what type of lashes they were, unfortunately, so just put them lashes on. I'll try to figure out the name. And then I'm going to put my foundation on. Right now, this is probably my favorite affordable foundation that I use. It is a drugstore brand.
And
So now I'm just using a brush to basically blend this all into my skin and blend it all over. This foundation was actually one of the first foundations I ever used. It's by Fit Me, and I used the same shade back then, 310, and it's still a great foundation that I still use all the time. And it's affordable, so you can't beat that. Now I'm just going in and blending everything in and pushing it into my skin. And I am using the e.l.f. sponge. This sponge is super affordable. It's so good. And yes, I use the sponge dry. I don't like using sponges wet. I know it's weird, but I just don't like it because I feel like it picks up a lot of the product and I have to use more product because it also absorbs it. So that's why I like to use my sponges dry. Now I'm using my concealer by Maybelline in the shade Light Pale. This is their Instant Age Rewind Concealer, also an OG product that I used when I first started using makeup as well. So now I'm just putting that all over and blending it out. And the shade is a lot lighter than me, and that's because I like to make sure I brighten my face and highlight those areas. And to blend out this concealer, I am using the same sponge that I used to press in my foundation, just because I feel like it also helps blend everything together and it's just handy. Now using the same sponge and some setting powder, I'm just basically going to flip that sponge to the pointy side and pick up some translucent setting powder and put that in all my areas that I put the concealer in to help set and brighten my face. Now I'm going in with the face powder that matches my skin, and I just go ahead and pick a flat brush. This is Y6 by Morphe. It is meant to be a foundation brush, but you don't always gotta follow the rules with the brushes. You could do whatever you want. It's makeup, it's art. Do whatever fits you. So I'm basically picking up powder on that brush, dusting off the white translucent powder that I had there that was baking and settling into my skin. And I'm basically pressing that in and wiping it off at the same time. And then I'm also taking the shade that I had for my skin color, and I'm basically just putting that all over my skin. And the reason why I use that to dust off the powder is because I feel like it just blends and adds some color there. Now I'm going back into my James Charles palette. I'm grabbing that yellow shade that we used at the very end, and I'm just going to put that underneath my lash line just to bring the look together and to help blend it in with my top eyelid. So that's what I'm doing here instead of going through the full process of all 3 colors, because as you've seen, I figured it was just best to just put the yellow on its own. Please excuse the weird faces I make. It's because I don't want to get eyeshadow in my eye. It hurts when it does get in my eye. But I'm just basically using a small fluffy brush to apply the eyeshadow to my lower lash line. Now I'm just basically going back in with some mascara and getting my lower lashes, just because I feel like my look is not complete if I don't do this. It looks very weird to me, and I do notice when I don't put mascara on my lower lashes, so that's why I make sure I do add this step in. Going in with my Fit Me powder in the darkest shade I believe they had, which is Mocha, and I'm just taking this and using it to help contour my face and chisel it out a little bit more than what it is. So I'm using this thick fluffy fan brush, and I'm just using that to apply all over my face. And I like this brush because it makes everything even and a lot quicker. Now I'm just taking an eyeshadow brush and I'm dipping that into the powder, and I'm just going to contour my nose and basically slim it down. I do like the bridge of my nose, but the very end of my nose throws me off a little bit, so I'm just basically reshaping the bottom part and aligning it with the bridge of my nose. Now I'm just taking a different eyeshadow brush. This one is flat on the end, and I'm just using it to blend out the contour just to make sure it's not harsh on my nose. Now I'm just going back in with the sponge that I've been using, and I'm getting more setting powder, and I'm just basically doing this to clean up the contour on my cheeks. Now I'm going in with some blush. This is Paaarty by Tarte, and I am just going to apply that to my cheeks and make this weird face, which is supposedly me smiling, just so I can see where to apply it. And I like to use this pretty much all over just to warm everything up and bring more life to my face. Going back in with my Y6 brush with my leftover powder on it, I'm just using this to blend everything out from the powder that was setting there, and I'm just basically blending it upward and pressing it in just because I want it to be blended in. I don't want it to just be a harsh white line. Now I'm just going in with some highlight, and I'm basically going to apply this with the brush, of course, and also my fingers. So for my nose, I like to use my fingers just to make sure it's nice and bright, and I could easily make this weird exclamation mark I always do on my nose, which is down the bridge and on the tip of the nose. And then I love applying it to my cupid's bow. I don't know why, I feel like it just enhances my lips a lot more. Now I'm just taking a fluffy brush, and I'm basically going to add that to the high points of my cheeks. And then I will also be adding it lightly above my eyebrow and kind of connected it just to make me a little bit more glowy and make my skin look more wet and natural. Now I'm just taking a very small brush and I'm using that to apply highlight to the inner corners of my eye, just to basically brighten up my eyes a bit. And then because I wasn't fully satisfied with my eye look, I was satisfied but I needed more. I needed to be more extra as usual. So I added more of that highlight onto my eyeshadow look, and I actually liked it a lot more after doing that, just because it made it look more wet than dry. Now I'm just going in with the brown lip liner. This is by KKW. It's in the shade Nude 2. And I'm just basically using this to line my lips, and I do overline my bottom and top lip, so that's why you're seeing that right there. I just feel like it makes my lips look more plump than what they are, which is what I love. But of course you can line it however you want. This is just how I do my lips. Also, I like to fill in the outer corners of my lips just to give it more depth and just to kind of contour it a little bit. And then I will be taking a very bright pink shade and putting that in the center of my lips just to basically create an illusion with my lips. And then I also just make sure I blend it all together. So now I'm just basically going in with some gloss. This is a lip plumping gloss by e.l.f. It's very affordable and it's so good. There is a high end which is by Buxom, but this one's affordable and I feel like it works just as good. So I'm basically just taking a clear plumping gloss by e.l.f. and putting that all over my lips. And when applying the gloss, I like to tap it just so it's not mixing and messing everything up. I'm also taking some setting spray by e.l.f. just to basically remake my skin look like skin and not so dry and cakey. Alright, so this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this makeup look I created. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.